Hi guys, I'm here with Eric. Eric, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
It's
been
fun. It has been a lot of fun, hasn't it? We've had two-day schools over here, GRF and Be Better Golf, hosted by Eric at the golf club at Rancho, California. I mean, look at these surroundings. It's an absolute joy to be here. The greens are like carpet, and this 18th hole that we're on here has, well, it's very similar, we've just been told, to the 18th at Augusta in terms of the incline up to the green. So you can imagine how challenging that is for an 18th hole. Not a problem for Eric. Eric's a very, very well-renowned pro in the area, and obviously, and he played US Open. Course record here, 62 with Ricky Fowler. It's home club. So it's an absolute privilege to be here, and thanks, Eric. It's been so much fun coaching with you.
Awesome. Great 4 days.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And your coaching style has really complemented what we're doing, and it's been amazing to see that in action with the group. We've had a lot of transformative experiences in terms of changing games. It's been brilliant seeing how the pupils have responded this week. And we're going to show you an exercise which should really help your game, because it certainly helped the pupils this week, and it's something that you see often in your lessons, Eric. I see it often in mine. Let's see if we can help you with it. So we've moved down to the bottom of the green here. So we're looking up the green, Eric. What I'd like to talk through is how you not only play this shot, but how you feel your golf swing and the intention behind it in order to use the golf club, how it's been designed, because that's been something that we've recognised this week with the pupils at the school, is that, and you see this a lot in your coaching, I mean, what kind of release patterns do you tend to see in your coaching? Because we've discussed this, and it's a similar kind of, we experience similar things, don't we, in coaching?
Yeah, and I see a lot of early extension trying to help the ball up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of this, and that face stays open when, you know, for a particular shot, if they're trying to get it to move forward at a better pace, but the club face and the experience with the turf doesn't match what the intention is, all they try to do is swing harder, which makes it go up or makes the bottom even more inconsistent. So getting the right technique, and again, what I watched you guys for 4 days, and it's what I experience, but you guys, you put it in such a beautiful drill for them to get. I'm like, ah, it's brilliant how you took them to this spot with the left arm and then got the body to rotate to match that. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Something
Awesome.
I'll definitely be using.
Cool. It's great to share. That's what it's all about. And although we're talking about pitching technique, pitching mechanics, you can use this technique and expand it, transfer it into the full swing, because at the end of the day, we're trying to deliver the sweet spot to the golf ball. We're trying to use the leading edge, the bounce. We're using the club the way it's been designed. So we're using pitching as a way of improving the full swing. So this exercise is really going to hopefully help you experience what it's like, not just to find that impact, because it's what's happening before and after that's more important, because we're actually having to move way ahead of where we actually need to be, because we're actually coming back, and as we strike in the golf ball, even in pitching, we're shifting before the club even moves. But I don't want to interfere first, Eric. I'd love you to talk through how you would experience playing this shot, what's behind your feels, behind how you, behind the whole technique. I mean, that's the 54, that's the 58, it depends whichever you want.
Yeah, I'll go 54.
Okay.
So it'll start with what I see. So it's a sensory driven experience to make a decision. So I see where hole location is, I see reed of green, I see slope, and then what comes to me is a place where I want my ball to land at a particular pace and trajectory. And if I see a spot that's above this ridge in the flat area of the green that's going to chase up that hill, for me, then a shot starts to be designed. And I don't necessarily say I want to do this with it, but all the environmental cues start to cue my muscles and my skill level to where this needs to be done.
Awesome.
So if I look at this, I don't have a lot of movement, body movement in my chipping.
Yeah.
So I'll already get my body weights to where they're going to end up. So then it's just a rocking of, there'll be some pivot moving, some force into the ground, but not a whole lot. So when I set up to this particular shot, I'll adjust the club face to what's needed, the way I want to interact with the turf, with the bounce and the leading edge.
Yeah.
And then with this shot, I do want it coming out a bit low. So I'll feel the handle rotate where it's going to start closing the face down. So when I interact with it, I'm really de-lofting the club, and I see a lot of de-lofting happening by the hands working way around the body, which keeps the club face open because the wrists aren't doing the proper thing to get the face to de-loft
it's not
and
rotating
release.
the face,
Which directly goes to how I play golf in the same release pattern for a particular shot.
Yeah.
Right? So, should I go ahead and hit one?
Yeah, please, yeah.
So, as I set up, the picture that's been designed is filtering through my muscles and my skill. So I set up to that picture. I'll take just a few little waggles to feel it, if it feels like what's going to happen. And as I set up, I see that spot. I'm feeling the pace that's needed. My body just starts to move around until it gets comfortable to match that picture. And then I feel the last little bit of my weight into my left.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So good.
What a shot.
And then I go.
What a shot, pure strike.
So, but it all starts with like visualizing, and then a picture's being created. My body sets up comfortably. I've done all the practice so my body knows what to do through rehearsing it over and over and over, right?
Yeah, and what we're looking at here is an expert performer playing with intuition. And intuition is knowledge plus experience. And it's not just the knowledge, which you're hopefully going to get from this video, but it's how do you apply it to experience it in a way where you can then adapt it intuitively for the shot. So we're going to show you an exercise here because that's Eric's way of doing it, and that's a way that is transferable. Of course, it's very, very rich and powerful information. What we're going to look at is how we can find this for ourselves with a simple exercise, experiencing how our body needs to move to use the club the way Eric's just used it. We're going to educate both sides of the body. So we're going to train ourselves to feel what it's like with both hands. We often practice with both hands on the club, and we've all got hand dominance. So we tend to maybe favour using one side of the body. We often see the trail side doing this, as Eric was saying, trying to help the ball up in the air maybe, or trying to hit it early. It's something we see often, and it affects the strike. It's not really the dynamics we want to use this club effectively. So let's talk them through the exercise, Eric. What I'd like to do is we'll do some lead hand exercises first, and we're just going to feel the leading edge. Now, what I suggest you do, Eric, if you wouldn't mind holding the club up just towards me a second, is just actually tap the leading edge. Because when you tap the leading edge, Eric's feeling the part of the instrument now that is going to interact with the turf. Of course, we're going to be using the bounce, but the leading edge has to lead, hence leading. So it's not the back edge, it's the leading edge. And we've got to lead with that edge so the sweet spot strikes the ball and we can get some compression, because we are de-lofting a wedge. And this is going to help de-loft the rest of the clubs when we're swinging. So that's the interaction we're looking for. And Eric, if you wouldn't mind just making a few little swings with your left arm. And what I'm going to do, if you just don't mind swinging back and forth, I'm going to now bring a crossbar in. And what I'd like you to do is imagine you're hitting it underneath the crossbar. So you can see the different pattern here relative to when he wants to go over the crossbar. Look at this. So everything starts to change, the dynamics of the release change. And then even higher, Eric, up there, look at this. Now we're going to go lower. Now we're going to start to compress more and de-loft. Now holding that place, Eric, for a second. Now this, using the lead arm, is quite easy to do because the body doesn't need to be involved. But it's this bit now, this part of the exercise, which is really going to help you sense how much the body has to do to achieve this kind of release. And what we're going to do, Eric, is now use our right hand, our trail hand, and go and grip the club. And look how the body has to respond. Look at that. And I guess that feels different, Eric.
Feels fantastic.
Very different to just swinging the left arm. But now we're in a magic place because we're experiencing where we're going to be going. We're experiencing the finish to the motion. So just tapping this again, just to sensitize ourselves to that and just trigger that response, that cue. And now, Eric, if you wouldn't mind swinging back and through to that same place, feeling that same finish, and the swing organizes itself. And we've now got destinations. we're not stopping at these destinations. We're swinging through to this place here. And back and through again, Eric, if you don't mind. Awesome. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take the lead arm off. Now we've got the trail hand, and now we're going to have to feel what it's like without the lead arm to achieve that same motion to that same finish. Fantastic. Back and through. Look how much the body has to rotate. What do you feel there between the right side and the left side, Eric? When it was just swinging with the left side, and then when you brought the right hand on, what did you feel you had to do?
The body.
The body.
Yeah, and the, you know, my right hand will turn the handle over as it's coming through, but to finish low, but mostly how much the body rotates to get my arm to here. With the left, it was just the left swinging, right?
Yeah.
Didn't need a lot of body. With the right, to get it to that same finish, yeah, definitely a lot of body. And this hip turns, the right heel comes up.
So you can recognize this movement, the shape of the movement form here during the motion, and the shape of the finish. Look how rotated Eric is, just like he said. You're going to feel stretches that you probably haven't felt before for a small swing. And if we're not feeling these on a small swing, we're probably not using them on the bigger swings.
Yeah, right in here.
Yeah, through the left lateral line there, we're getting a stretch through the left side supporting. It's allowing us to release that golf club. And we've added, and this is what Eric was talking about earlier, external cues. Not only are we internally more self-aware now through this exercise, but what we've got now is a response to an external cue. The ball flight. Eric eloquently explained the shot quite vividly in terms of his intention. Now we've got a feel for this sweet spot in terms of how we're delivering it for loft, because if you don't mind putting your left hand back on now, Eric, now let's imagine we're playing underneath the crossbar.
Go back
and through, yeah, back and through. Look at the release, look at the finish. Back and through now, over the crossbar, and back and through even higher. And from there, holding that place, now back under there. Fantastic. So we can start to differentiate between all these different releases and get creative. Let's play another shot, Eric. And let's just show the difference between a higher launch and a lower launch, if that's okay. So talk us through what you would feel in like a pre-shot kind of practice swing now.
Okay, I'll go low first.
Yeah.
So low, I'll get further back off my right foot, especially we're on a slight uphill lie. So it'll be quite a bit back off the right, probably the right heel. And I'll feel the hinging of my wrist a little bit more, because I want this left wrist will load as I'm coming down, and the right hand, that'll turn. See how much the club face turns down and de-lofts. So it's going to come out very low. The divot pattern will be quite steep, and the ball just shoots out low and fast.
Look at that. Shot.
And the finish is right here, because I led the handle so deep into and past low point. And then it's the important part with going low is this part of the wrist conditions. And you explained it yesterday. It's like the motorcycle going this way.
Yeah.
So that's a hard feeling for most people to get into, but through some of Marcus's drills, he really gets the student to experience that feel, and then to release and get to there.
The toe down.
Yeah, with the
divot.
toe down.
Yeah, and we did that in the bunkers.
Yeah.
There's going to be more content coming from the golf school, so you can see these other videos. Also, Eric's got his YouTube channel. There's exercises on there as well. We'll put the link in description. What we're recognising here just from watching, and this is what you want to be recognising your own swing too, is that all this is familiar for Eric. So the finish is familiar. There's no uncertainty, nothing that he's not practiced, nothing that he's not used to, that he's not expecting. So he's expecting everything to happen, which enables you to let go with more confidence, because there's no anticipation or hesitation of what could happen, or hesitancy. It's like we're actually recognising the whole motion. The ball's basically just getting in the way and reacting, and essentially realising the shot that you've just been picturing. Because the way that Eric's described that, he's not just described what he's doing, but also how it's going to be feeling, what the ball's going to be doing. So there's a connection between the shot, like you said, the environmental cues, Eric, and you're reacting intuitively, but there's a very deep understanding, a feeling, if you like, of the language with it, which enables you to recognize what you're doing in terms of the shot behind it, the movement behind it, the internalization. So your internalization enables you to express yourself externally. So,
and we do it from a very educated component place.
yeah.
These parts are educated, which is what we bring to you, is how to educate these parts to do what the intention is.
Yes.
And just opening up your toolbox of, here's how this works, here's what you can feel, and then here's how to get there. Just a small roadmap to help create your blueprint from your experiences in your fields. You don't have to do it like me or like Marcus, but you're going to do it your way based off of exploring fields that we can bring to you, and drills just like that one-arm drill and then coming up to it.
Absolutely. You're creating maps that you start to recognize. These allow you to expand those maps, but more importantly, find your blueprint. Like you say, what's your identity in terms of your movement? And this is what practice is for, so we become comfortable in our own skin and then able to express ourselves. Of course, there's going to be times when you feel pressure and feel challenged, but that's what practice is for. So we're adaptive to overcome those challenges and feeling confident in the process. We're not sure what's going to happen. We're not 100% sure, but the probability is.
It's like life, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like life. But the probability, all we're doing is giving ourselves our best opportunity. That's what we're doing in practice. So we're not trying to get it perfect, because like Eric just said, life's not perfect. And we're going to have lots of obstacles. What we're doing here is we're upskilling ourselves, using the toolkit, recognizing all these pieces to the jigsaw. It's a puzzle. And what you're doing is you're giving yourself all the pieces and through practice, learning how they all fit together. And then it creates a picture that you recognize, and that picture can change because the pieces are all there and can be reformed to adapt the picture. So this exercise here, we've already explored low, medium, high. That was a low one, so a higher one, Eric. So if you talk us through that one, that'd be cool.
So higher, if I was low here, I'm going to go further off the left. My body position will aim a little bit left. The face will open up. My hands will still press forward a bit, but I'm not trying to lead the handle through impact to get that leading edge. I'm trying to come back, and it'll still have leading edge into the back of the ball, but we've introduced more of the bounce. So now I'm going to brush the grass, and as I come down, my hands will slow as I reverse sides, reverse ends. So now I have, and you explained it so beautifully yesterday, having the club face be a mirror looking back at me, not as quickly as possible, but it does almost face the sky and face back this way, because I'm letting the club face go and slide underneath it, taking very little divot. So it'll be setting up, my base will be a little bit wider, aim to the left, the handle comes down some.
Nice.
And almost the same finish, only different conditions. Low ended up like this, high ended up like this. I don't have a big, unless I really need it, which isn't very often, where this club comes up higher, comes down, and really has this big high finish. I do a lot of artwork and cooking, so I have a lot of touch, a lot of sensitive touch in this right wrist. So I use it. And that's for you too. You find out where your touch is. Jason Day does the same shot where he's using his body and very little wrist. Fine,
yeah.
Everything's, it's yours. You figure out yours. So I'd get up here and I'd come down again with the touch of my right wrist. I'm there for a big high flop shot, or changing the conditions, I'm there for a little shot. So I'm keeping everything kind of right in this area, moving my instrument as small as possible.
Yeah, and notice the sound as well. So it's not just the movements we're talking about, it's all that sensory feedback. Not just the seeing, it's the feeling, it's the hearing. So matching sound to feel, they're very much connected. The back edge of the sole, that sounds very different to when the leading edge starts to strike the ground. So recognizing how this interacts with the ground helps to create that very vivid memory of this whole experience, which is a memory of a shot, a memory of a swing that your body can recall. We've got this library, if you like, to recall of events and feelings, and we want to be creating the right memories, not distorting it, getting ourselves in a panic, in a muddle, get distracted and just focusing on getting a good strike and hopefully getting a good shot and just judging our practice on how many good shots we get. We're actually developing skill here, and it's the skill that we're developing, and then we can start to shift it into very more creative performance, more kind of outcome measurable kind of goals, and then that's really attuning us now to the challenge that this course provides. And boy, does this course provide a challenge. I mean, look at this. We've got the guys, I think they're going to be coming up the 18th soon. The early risers this morning, teeing off at 6, about 9:30 here in the morning, so we're going to have to move, I think, quickly. And so I'd like to just say thanks again, Eric, for that.
Awesome.
It's been awesome meeting
really
you.
Cool.
And again, it's not going to be the last time, I hope. And we're going to be back. The Golf Club at Rancho, California. Be Better Golf. Yourself for hosting. It's been an absolute pleasure. And guys, I hope you've enjoyed that, because that was something personal from the group that we wanted to share from the last few days golf schools. It's been brilliant to tap into Eric's expertise, knowledge, and just to meet you as a person has been fantastic. It's been awesome. Guys, George behind the camera, thank you very much.
George.
Guys,
yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that. Drop your comments below, let us know how you get on. And don't forget to follow Eric on his YouTube channel. We're dropping the link in description, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Eric.
Cheers.
Awesome. Well done, mate.
Yeah, good.
Awesome.